Tell me about this piece, Julie.
So this is a handheld fireplace screen. It's silk that has been embroidered with the image of a spaniel chasing a bird. It's really very nicely done, very subtle, but has a joyous kind of look to it. The silk has started to shatter and it's quite fragile. So in order to protect it from potentially being handled, we've put it into this archivally stable box, and this allows us to continue to have it on display, whereas if it were still out and able to be handled, we might have reservations about that.
Tell me what this bike is.
So this is a really interesting new donation to our collection. We got this last year. It is a John Deere woman's bike, 3-speed, and the couple who donated this bike, they bought both a man's and a woman's bike, and they spent many happy days cycling along the Cedar Valley trails and going on a few John Deere bike trips. And what I really love about this bike is that it's so classically John Deere. There's no way that you can mistake that this is a John Deere product, and I love the fact that they were marketed, that they were built to the same specifications, the heavy-duty, last forever specs of any other John Deere piece of equipment. And I have to believe it, because this bike has obviously been well loved and well used, and yet I think you could probably just pump up the tires and go for another ride on it.
How old is it?
John Deere produced these bikes from about 1972 to 1978, and so very limited time period. They apparently didn't sell as well, I would imagine, as they thought they would. They were made in Taiwan, and they came in several different types of models, like a high handlebar one, and then a classic bike like this. This will go on display at some point. Not sure when. Might be going over to the ice house where we have high-wheeled bicycles, so this would be a nice contrast.
Okay.
So this is a coat made from a stallion's hide. As you can see, the horse was multicolored. This is an example of an object in our collection that we really cannot exhibit because of its fragility. It has multiple holes in its sleeves. The hide has started to degrade. The hair has come loose from the hide, and the collar is in exceptionally bad condition. So it is not something that we could actually put on exhibit. But it's very interesting because it was actually produced by the Dubuque Tanning and Robe Company. The Dubuque Tanning and Robe Company was established in Dubuque in 1907. They changed their name in 1917, so we can date this coat to between 1907 and 1917.
Who did it belong to?
It belonged to Matthias Sadler. He was a German immigrant. He came to the United States in 1895. He was a farmer and a horse breeder who lived near Raymond, Iowa. And he purchased this stallion for $2,000, which would of course have been an immense amount of money at that time. And then the horse died 2 months later. So it's not really known if he preserved the horse's hide out of sentimentality because he was so fond of the horse, or if he was simply trying to get a little bit of his money back from his investment. But we do know that that's the story. The coat was donated to us by his grandson.